Hello, beautiful people. It's your girl, Miss Eileen. And today I want to share with you some really important updates for your YouTube channel. So, if you have a YouTube channel, you really need to watch this video. Also, there are some other updates to YouTube that may not impact everyone, but it will impact you if you get a lot of comments on your channel. So, with that, let's get started. I want to go first. I want to talk about what you can do for these changes that are coming up. And let's just say good morning to our friend Sue Ann. Hello, my dear. Thank you so much for stopping by. All right. And just a FYI, I am live on YouTube as well as on my Facebook page. And so, yeah, let's start. Let's get into it. So, the first thing I want to talk about, and this will just to give you a little bit of background, there has been a lot or a huge increase of spam on YouTube. And so, one of the things that is getting spammed is your comment section. So, YouTube has increased the strictness of comments that are being held before they appear on your channel. Hello, Pandy. It's so Pandy's hair candy. Hello, my dear. It's so good to see you. It's been a while, and you're looking so well, and your hair is just on fleek, girl. Do they still say that? So, one of the things that YouTube has done is allow us to increase the strictness. So let's just head over to YouTube and we're going to go into our back end of our channel. So that means we have to go into our YouTube studio. Let's do that. And from here, we're going to go into settings. Settings. This is an important distinction because I'm going to show you two things you need to do today. One, you're going to go to settings, and I'll show you the other one, the really huge one in a minute. But this one, you're going to go to settings. Let's just make sure you can see everything. Good to go. And from here, you're going to go to community. And this is the reason why I'm doing this video, because there's multiple steps and you may not know how to drill down into this. So not just community, but then you're also going to go to defaults. Defaults. So I'm going to go through those steps one more time. You're going to click the settings, which is the cog wheel on the left. Hope you can see that there. Then you're going to go to community. Then you're going to go to defaults. And here is what you need to check off, because you probably already have whole potentially inappropriate comments for review, but now we're going to increase the strictness. Okay, increase the strictness. Now, if you're someone who gets a lot of spammy, I can't think of another word besides saying spammy, you may want to do any of these other things, which is to hold all comments for review or disable comments, or even when you're live, like right now, I'm live, hold potentially inappropriate chat messages for review. You may want to do any of those things, but I just want you to know this is where you have to do it. You go to settings, community, and then defaults. So now let me just come back and see if we have any questions or comments about that. And and Suan's moved over to the YouTube side. Thank you so much. Thank you. And here to learn. Thanks for breaking this down. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. It's important because YouTube Studio has become so sophisticated, everyone, that unless someone shows you step by step how to get into these different aspects of your channel, you may not know how to do it. And that was the case for me because I fumbled around a bit when I saw that it was tweeted by our YouTube liaison, which is Renee Ritchie, and he shared a screenshot, but he didn't show the breadcrumbs of the path to get to that setting. And so, I mean, and I know he's doing a fantastic job, but in this particular case, we needed a little extra hand holding to navigate through all of YouTube. And Pandy, who probably does get some comments that she needs to have that strictness on, she says she just did it in her YouTube studio. Yay, Candy. All right, so now let's get into the huge, huge news. Before I do that, let me get everything set up in the back end. The huge change that YouTube has made, and this really has to do with, like I said, combating spam. There are so many different scams that people use to do what they call phishing, and that's phishing with a PH. Or you think you're clicking on one thing, turns out you're clicking on something else, and you could, because you trust YouTube, you think, well, this link is on YouTube, it must be okay. And it's a shame because it's not just YouTube. Of course, this is happening even in your emails, in your inbox. I know we have a very great policy and a great program that we follow at my day job to help us to avoid clicking on those links. Sometimes they can mimic that it's coming from the president of the company. It's like, oh, well, I need to talk to you. Jump on a quick call, and you click on a link and it's spam. It's a phishing. They want to get access to your computer. And if you're at work, they want to get access to your network so they can get in there and do all kinds of, I don't even know what these people spend their time thinking of, but this is going to help you. So even though this is a big change, just remember, this is really to protect you and other viewers. Okay. And so here is that big change. That change is that we no longer have links on our channel banner. We used to have these little links that would appear over here on the right-hand side of our channel banner. That would be like a website or our Twitter, our Facebook, Instagram, and on and on and on. That, my friends, is gone. If you're someone who has a channel banner art that has an arrow pointing over to this little area here, change it. Change it right away because those links are gone. And Pandy said, right, I noticed that the other day. Yeah, and a lot of people are kind of focusing on what's going on with YouTube Shorts links, and they're not really talking much about this. Let me change this layout a little bit. Oh, that's a little bit too much, Eileen, but that's okay because we're getting ready to move from this screen. Oh, before I do that, let's do something else here. Let's do this. I want you to see now what YouTube has done instead. And this, I am on my phone. And what you're going to need to do is make sure in your YouTube settings, this time you're going to go to the customization. Don't worry, I got you covered. I'm going to show you how to do it. All right. I'm going to show you how to do it because, like I said, it's different than what we just went into our settings. And maybe if you're like me, you're thinking, okay, I got to go back into settings. You won't find it in settings. And you'll be clicking on all these tabs, and there's, I don't know, 20 tabs there, maybe more. It's not in that. But what I want you to see is right underneath. Let me see if I can. Well, because I'm on my own channel here and I brought this up on my iPhone, okay? But let's just walk through it because this is actually a screenshot that I took. And so you see my profile picture, my channel name, which is Eileen Smith, a little bit about me, and then you see the link. And the one that I have at the top, because this is something you're going to have to think about. What link do you want to put up there at the top? Because that's the only one that people are going to see. And I put my Go Shopping page. That's, for my e-commerce stuff related to Amazon. But this is a page that I got from Logie. And what happens is this is the one link they see, but then they also see that there's 9 more links. Hopefully you can read that, as I can't make it any bigger right at this moment. And it's important that I want to show you this on the phone because that's where a lot of people will be. So what they did was they built in this sort of like a little bit of a link tree or link in bio type feature. Okay, so I'm going to play the video again. So please watch. It's just like I don't know, 8 seconds or something like that. And when people click on that and 9 more links, they're going to see your links. And immediately they're going to see 7 links, but we're going to be able to add, I believe it's 14 links there. Okay, so now let me come back on. So now this is important. I'm going to show you how to update that. Depending upon how long you've been on YouTube, you may need to update those links anyway. Like, you had a link to a landing page, or you have become more active on a specific social platform, and you're like, thank you, Sue-Ann, for letting me know that you were seeing it. Yay. And I guess it all depends upon if you're on your phone or on desktop. So I'm assuming you're on desktop. Right. So, for example, when I went to update mine, the first thing I did was I have always in my about section, I've always talking about myself being a blogger and a podcaster as well as a live streamer. Well, I barely blog anymore. God, please don't, please forgive me. I do have a blog, but my stuff is auto posted on that particular blog. And I don't want to talk as much about podcasting as I used to, simply because I haven't released an episode lately. So, okay, I'm more focused on the e-commerce. So I needed to make changes. And I'm only telling you this because I want you to think about this for yourself. Because when people are on desktop, so let's just look at it on desktop. Hey, Cindy, how are you? Thanks for being on the Facebook side. You can come over to the YouTube side if you want. It's Eileen Smith on YouTube. So when people click on that more links, it's actually also taking them to your about page on YouTube. Your about page. Yeah, remember you have an about page on YouTube? Yeah, when was the last time you updated it? When was the last time you went in there and made sure you didn't have any typos? You didn't have any or everything reflected exactly what it is that you do now. So in a way, this was a good thing because I went in here and I made some changes. I talked about live streamer. Yeah, I'm a live streamer. Blogging and podcasting, yeah, that can all come with it. But that primarily, I'm a live streamer. I've been hooked since the very first time I went live on Google Plus back in 2012, which has been 11 years, by the way. So anyway, and then I talked about some of the places that I worked, which I had never mentioned before here in my about section. But as you scroll down, because enough about me, this is where all those links reside. I'm going to try to highlight. All right. And like I said, I believe that we get up to 14. It's either 12 or 14. I think YouTube has kind of waned back and forth about those two options. But this is where you're going to put your links. And so let me just make that a little bit bigger so you can see that. Okay. So if they're on desktop, it's going to take them to this about section. So they're going to read your description and they will have to scroll down before they even see your links. Okay, so now let me just come and see if anybody's, and I see my girl Callie is here. So I definitely want to just come over here and say hello, hello. I see a bunch of my good friends are here. All right, I think I put Cindy's good morning up earlier. And there's Julie. Hey, I appreciate your tips and step by step saves a lot of time. Thanks for sharing. You're welcome, Julie. And that just warms my heart because this is exactly what I'm here for. I'm here to save you time because I've already fumbled around on the back end. Oh, and I didn't show you how to fix that yet, but we will. Gotta say hi to my peeps, y'all. Be patient. Be patient, grasshopper. This is my goal. My goal is to make it so you don't have to go over there fumbling around. I've already done it. All right. And Callie, good morning, Queen Eileen, joining you while on my morning run. Girl, you stay in shape. Everybody get motivated by Callie. A long time, great reminder. Yes, Cindy says it's been a long time. So it's probably been a long time since she went to that about section and made sure because things are changing all the time, right? We are constantly in a state of flux. So y'all are like, okay, Miss Eileen, get to it now. All right. So I'm going to get to it now. So remember before I told you that you would go, oh, let me just put myself on the side so I make sure I'm not covering anything up. Remember before I told you would go into YouTube Studio and the last time we went to settings. But this time we're going to go to customization. I don't know why they decided to put that magic wand there. But yes, in this case, today, what we're talking about, this is going to make the magic happen for your channel. All right. Once again, a bunch of different tabs, right? So if you want, you can go through these. We don't have to go through them. We can come back to these. I'm sorry. We come back to this after I show you the magic. So not layout, not branding, basic information. Basic information. This is where you've got your channel name. You've picked a handle. I'm sure all of you have your handle. If you don't, this is where you take care of that. That description, we just saw it on the front side. And then, even though we have channel handles, this is your long channel URL, and you may need this for something. Don't worry about what you might need it for, but just know that this is where you get it, come to get it in basic information. This is your custom URL. And here is where you add your links. Now, the beauty of this page, because remember, I showed you how on the mobile, you're only going to see if the first 7 links, unless your person knows to scroll up. And let's face it, are you going to do that? Are you going to do that when you're on someone else's channel? maybe if you put good positive vibes out there into the world, it'll happen for you as well. But for the most part, we know people are not going to scroll up, right? So you put your main links. So for me, I want to make sure people know this is where they can go to shop. And then this is where they can subscribe to my newsletter. The Digital Media Weekly newsletter. Yes, eileensmith.com/links. My Patreon, then my website, and then, my socials, and I just put them in order of importance for me. Okay. So there you have it. And I still have that I could add another. So here's another thing. While you're here, these little bars on the side, that's just for you to move things around. So you can move things around, but hey, don't forget, once you move it, you have to publish it again. So publish is almost, in this case, publish is like saying save, because you're editing your basic information. I don't know why they choose to use the word publish here instead of save. Maybe they just want to hit home with you that this is really your about page and you're publishing it. In my mind, it works the same, but this is just the way they have it. All right, so I moved LinkedIn and TikTok around. Who cares? All right, let me come back on screen here and see if okay. So you guys don't have any questions about that yet, right? All right, so let's just do a quick recap now then. First, I talked about increasing the strictness of comment moderation. And I guess you could say that's a little bit of AI that YouTube has built in, where they are able to see that, wait, this comment might be a little shady. All right. And so they're using AI to determine that. And so they know different words, and YouTube's, they're such a pro at this. And remember, I always say YouTube is the most sophisticated platform on the planet. It's the most sophisticated platform on the planet. So they have spent a lot of time trying to resolve this issue of these spammy links. And so I'm not sure if just having them on that about page makes them do a better scan of those links. And actually, the way it looked before, when you had your channel banner and you had those links there, to me, it always looked awkward. Some people had 2 links, some people had 3 links. I always felt that that was awkward anyway. And sometimes the wrong little, what they call a fave icon would come, and I just thought it always looked awkward. So now, and I'll just put it up one more time for those who just got here. This is what it looks like on mobile, which I think is the most important, to see what it looks like on mobile when somebody clicks that little one link. Your primary link should be at the top, right? Mine says go shopping, go.shopping/Eileen, and 9 more links. And so when somebody clicks on that, just watch this little 3-second video, guys. When someone clicks on that, it's going to pop up, but they won't see all the links unless they pull up on that page. All right. And she did it. She came over to the YouTube side. Cindy, aka Clean Snob. Y'all know what she does. She's the person, if you need some cleaning tips, make sure you follow my girl Cindy. Okay. Because your house will be clean. All right. So super duper important. And so let's talk a little bit more about YouTube and these changes that they're making. Okay, so I want y'all to like take a deep breath because a lot of people have got bent out of shape because we heard that YouTube is disabling links on our shorts. They are getting rid of links that you have in your description, as well as any links posted in the comments, even if you post a link or if someone else leaves a comment with a link. Because what did I tell y'all already? Like, I don't have to keep saying it. Spam, right? And those phishing, oh, that's a hard word for me to say because I just sound like I'm going fishing. But I remember that PH is in there. So it's phishing, but it's spelled PHISING because that's what they're doing. Technically, they're just fishing to see if they can find somebody to click on that link. And they use all kinds of scams. And every day there is a new set of scams that are out there. They're coming in through your email. You may see them anywhere on the wild, but YouTube is a place where there's a lot of links. And so because shorts are so easy to put together and so quick to put together, this is another reason why comment links to, oh, yes. Because, like I said, shorts are so easy to put together. Anybody who's a fisher will put up a short, and the short could be like really short, like 4 seconds long, or it doesn't even have to be anything of value, or it could be whatever, a stolen content, whatever. And then they have a link there, and there's going to be there's some people out here that aren't as tech savvy as you and I, and they're going to click on those links, and then they're going to blame YouTube. And it's not YouTube's fault, but they're making sure that that doesn't happen because they have disabled all those links. And as an Amazon influencer, we see this a lot because some of the videos that we are posting on Amazon, or what they call them on Amazon, they call them shoppable videos. People are stealing our content and putting it up on YouTube, changing a link out and put their affiliate link on YouTube. This is another area of spam that we won't have to worry about anymore because the shoppable videos are very much like shorts, and it's probably easier for them to just grab those shoppable videos and put them up, and like I just told you what they do, right? So that's going to eliminate that, because not only can they not link to it in a description, they can't come to your video and put to your short and put the link in a comment, because they do that too. Y'all know that part. I don't have to tell you. All right, so let's just talk about another positive thing, that another positive change that YouTube is making, and that's terrible. Jeez. Yeah, and what's really terrible about it, Sue Ann, a lot of us don't know, because remember what I said earlier? YouTube is the most sophisticated platform in the world. So the folks at other platforms, I'm not going to pick on one, even though I was just talking about one, right? But folks at other platforms, they don't have that spam detection. They don't have that copyright detection, content ID software powered by artificial intelligence and machine learning and all that. Their stuff ain't up to speed with YouTube. let's just face it, YouTube's been at this game much longer. They have more resources that have been thrown at it. And um, Pandy says, "Oh, wow, good to know." Yes, Pandy. Yep. And Clean Snob said, "Yes, thinking this is a good thing." Because a lot of my Amazon influencer friends will just either create a brand new channel and just put their videos up on that brand new channel so that YouTube can detect that content ID, because the other platforms don't do as good a job as I just mentioned. And I just want to stop in the mid sentence and say hello, because I have never seen Christopher McCrigger. And Mc, no, McCrieger. I hope I pronounced it right. And either way, good morning. Thank you so much. Hello, hello. I appreciate you for joining. Also, I'm over on the YouTube side if you want to come over here as well. That's where everybody seems to be hanging out now. Oh, I did say it right. Oh, it was just a lucky guess. And so you would just come to Eileen Smith, or just look for Eileen, just like you're seeing on Facebook. You're seeing ILEANE. You just type that in on YouTube and you'll find me. Okay. Yes, we can be friends. Yep. Especially on YouTube. Because, like I said, the other platforms don't moderate as well. Right? Okay. So here's a good thing. Boy, I'm sorry. I took me a while to just talk about that before I tell you about the other good thing that's coming. Now, this is not going to happen until next month. So, depending upon when you're watching this, just look at the date and then you'll know what date it is. Okay, so here we go. On your YouTube Shorts, they're now going to give you what's called a content link. And it's very similar to like a YouTube card. Excuse me just for one moment. And this content link can link to another short, to a long form video, and that video could even be an unlisted video. And there is, those are the two things right now. A lot of YouTubers are wondering, well, can it link to a playlist? But I don't think that that's such a big deal, because if you're linking to a long form video, that video could have the link to the playlist. So don't worry about, the fact that it's not going to link to a playlist. It's going to link to your short can link to a long form video. And I heard one YouTuber, and this is somebody that I don't even really know. I was just randomly searching for this topic to see if I was missing anything. And they said it would be great for podcasters, because a lot of times podcasters, we throw out teasers and, as a short, throwing out a teaser, but having that link there that they can go and listen to the podcast on YouTube. Right? They're not going to listen. They're not going to be subscribing to your podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, blah, 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 blah. Right? Mary Bradshaw Duncan, hello and cheers to you, my dear. I see you have always do cheers with my grandson, but we drink water. But for some reason, I feel like you have a cocktail there. And so, Mary, nice to meet you, and I'm glad to be of service. And I just want to take a moment to give a major shout out to StreamYard right at this moment, because this is what I'm using. I use Ecamm Live. I'm going to give Ecamm Live a shout out too. But StreamYard gets a shout out because I am using this one of his new features, which is the touch up filter. And baby, that just saved me from putting on that expensive makeup that I use to even out my skin. Thank you, StreamYard. And for those who have never used StreamYard or don't know anything about it, I am going to put up a banner because I want y'all to know this is my affiliate link. So it's Eileen.link/StreamYard. And I even have, let me see what's the best way. I even have my old StreamYard mug there. I could have put out my pillow and my StreamYard plush ducky, but I got to give StreamYard a shout out because they got some other new stuff coming too, or that they just released that I didn't get a chance to say. I look great. Thank you so much, Rich. All right, let me get the banner down so I can put up Rich's comment. And ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce my friend Rich Graham. Please go ahead and subscribe to his channel if you can find him that way on YouTube. All right, wait a minute. Hang on. I missed a couple more comments. Let's go back to what Clean Snob said. Love that shorts can lead to long form. Excited for that. Yes. And like I said, that's coming next month. I have a feeling because they've already announced it that it's not going to be like the very last day of the month. It'll probably happen like in the middle of a month or something like that. But it's they got a code, and also I think that they're waiting to hear feedback from us, but they're also probably trying to judge the impact of what they just did of removing those links, removing the links from the banner. And I'll just say it real quick because Rich wasn't here. We talked about how all the links on your channel banner are gone now, but you have to go and check your about page and make sure that's all updated. And your most important link should be at the top. And people can see that on mobile. And let's see, I also missed this comment. Did you say link to long form video or website URL? Long form video. No websites. No shorts are going to link to websites. They're only going to link to other content on YouTube. So it's going to link to another short or long. I think it could link to a live too, but that would be kind of weird. But I'm glad I said that. Let me just make myself a note to talk about live as well. Before I pull up just one more comment here. And you always look great, miss. Oh, thank you, Sue Ann. You probably see me when I'm, bad hair days. I want to try the filter. Need the link. Oh, okay. I'll put it up one more again. And you can actually, you would get a free trial of StreamYard, and you can use StreamYard for free forever. And I do believe this feature is on the free plan. This touch-up feature is on the free plan. Okay. And that's Eileen, ILEANE.link/StreamYard. StreamYard, because I know there's a lot of tools out here that have the word stream in it. And I want to make sure you know that it's StreamYard. The hashtag we use is the yard. All right. Thanks so much, Cindy, for asking about that. And okay, thank you. You're welcome, Sue Ann. Yeah, there's a lot to remember. And just like our new friend Mary said, there's so much to learn, and I appreciate your information. There is so much to learn, and y'all would not believe the amount of sticky notes that I had. Well, even some notes I had to make sticky. like the notes for today's show. Because I know people say, I use Notion, I use Evernote, I use Trello. I don't have time for that. Give me a piece of paper and let me write it down. Like I wrote down live. So before I show y'all my notes, let's talk about live. There's another new thing that's going to happen. Oh, I was here. Thanks. Okay, great. You were here. You were just being quiet in the background. That's fine. Somebody else just came in. You can go live on YouTube vertical. Like right now I'm horizontal. If I was just using Ecamm, I could go vertical. I could do it on StreamYard, but it would look awkward. StreamYard is going to work on a way that we will be able to go vertical, which would be great for TikTok, Instagram, as well as YouTube. Because now when you go live vertically, and when I say now, I don't mean today. I think this is coming next week or week after. There is a possibility that people can find your live when they're going through the shorts feed. So one of the videos, one of your live streams could show up in the shorts feed only if you're streaming vertically. Once again, if you're streaming vertically, you also don't have the option to add those links. So there's that downside. The easiest way to stream vertically is to just go live from your phone. You know, you can go live on YouTube from your phone. Y'all do know that, right? I know most of my friends are like, ain't nobody got time to be going live from the phone. So much easier to just do it from your desktop. I've done it before. It's so funny because a friend of mine on Twitter asked the question, have your vertical videos done? That's not how they said the question, but on YouTube. And it's so funny because when I have over 580 videos on YouTube. So when you go on YouTube Studio, there's no way for me to find a video that's vertical if it's not a short. I don't have a way to find. There's no indication. YouTube doesn't say this was a vertical video. So I couldn't answer the question because I'm like, I know I've gone live vertically. I mean, I know I've done vertical videos as well as gone live vertically. But finding them is like looking for a needle in a haystack. And with 580 some videos, no, your girl ain't got time for that. As far as I know, YouTube doesn't break that out in Studio Analytics. But it was a good question. And for somebody who doesn't have a lot of videos like me, they probably could answer that. Like if you only had like 50 videos, you probably could say, oh yeah, I think I was vertical that time. And then you could click on to see the stats. And but for somebody with 580 plus videos, I don't have that kind of time. It's not that serious. But I will say the times that I went live, I did go live vertically. But I much, much, much prefer to go live horizontal. Now, if I was if I wasn't doing like today, I'm doing a how-to. I wanted to show you, walk you through the steps of how to go into your settings and how to go into your customization tab. But if I'm just, like talking, just maybe doing like a little motivational conversation or just getting feedback from you all, and it was just me on camera, then maybe I would do a live vertical. I wouldn't mind. I would just probably do it right from my phone. So that just reminded me that there are some other things that I want to share with you on the that we can do here in the back end. Let's just go through them all since we're all here together. All right, so you can have a trailer video, but you also can have a video for returning subscribers when they come to your channel. These can be different videos, which is great. And I just changed mine. Now my trailer video, it's just been there for years, and I just like I'm not changing it. I just don't feel it. Maybe one day I'll get motivated, but basically, is what I said in this trailer video is maybe I might be like 5 pounds lighter, more than 5 pounds, but I didn't have the touch up filter back then, but that's probably what I look like with the touch up filter. So anyway, then you also would want to change out this feature video for returning subscribers because, like maybe after 3 months, all your returning subscribers have saw that video. You have to, follow up and look at your stats and see if you saw a little bump in watches of that particular video. Then I always have, because you can put sections on your channel, right? We're not going to go through all this because there's a lot, right? But something that I always do as a live streamer, I always make sure that there is a live section on my channel. So what does that mean? That means if someone were to go to my channel right now, they're going to see that I'm live. Now, if you don't have that live section there, this video, this live stream or your live stream will not show up there. Okay. And so that's one of the sections because let me just see if I can. I probably can't add any more sections because you get 12 sections and I think I've added them all. So hang on. Yeah, I would have to get rid of one, I think. So, and then you can put your playlists. And, I have like my StreamYard playlist up at the top, then my Ecamm live playlists and so forth. And your shorts can appear here. Let's see here if I remove this section. I'm not going to remove that one. I have a section called a playlist called Twitter for Creators here. Let me just show you that you can edit it. So if I just wanted to switch this out and change this to a different playlist, I could come in here and pick from another playlist that I have. All right. So these things are important for what your channel looks like. Now, the branding section is where you would upload a new profile pic. I recommend not changing that out too much unless there's like a real significant reason why you need to change it. I've been using this one, I think, for 2 years. I think this picture is 2 years old. And I don't look much different from that. Now, I still have that shirt and I can still wear it. So let me see if there's any questions coming in. Okay, no. And then there's a banner. Don't believe what you see on Canva. The banner image is 2048 by 1152. Like I said, don't believe what you see on Canva. And YouTube used to have a template that they would like give you the link to. Let's see what happens if you go there. For some reason, they don't have that template there anymore. You guys can't see that. But here's another thing that you may want to consider changing or switching up. You can add a watermark. Now, a lot of people choose to have a watermark be their logo. But in my case, I have a subscribe button. And how long do I want that subscribe button to be visible? And you can do it at the end of the video. You can create a custom start time or the entire video. And I'm like, give me the entire video. So, but you have the option. Okay. And, we already looked at the basic information and I think we covered everything. I think it's always good to have an updated email. In my case, it's not my main inbox. It's the one that I might check once a week. But that's how brands who want to work with you and others who may want to work with you, serious contenders, know that they can contact you that way. And unfortunately, sometimes there's a lot of I think of a better word than maybe knuckleheads can contact you that way too. It could be a brand, but a brand that you are not interested in working with at all. But that golden nugget that comes through, in fact, that's how Gage got in touch with me. Gage from StreamYard got in touch with me from that email address. And when you're on the YouTube side, the person doesn't actually see the email address. You saw that because we were in my, they have to click on view email. I'm going to show it to you right now. So if somebody is on your about tab, this is on the front end of my YouTube channel, right? And then they have to literally click. So that keeps down the bots or whatever that would just scan this page and look for an email address. Because they know how to do that stuff too. So I always recommend having a dedicated email inbox for that. But it's up to you, and it depends upon, the flow of traffic that comes to your channel. And maybe you're not even looking for opportunities to work with other people, or you have all the information on your Linktree page or whatever. But I just wanted you to know that that was there and that you don't have to have a Linktree. Like I have a Linktree, but I never use it because first of all, I have my Go Shopping page, which we might as well look at that since that is the number one link on my on my YouTube. And let's do screen share here. It opens in another tab, so bear with me one momento. So my Go Shopping page already has all my social profiles on it, and it has a little short bio. Now I could probably copy and paste that bio from YouTube and put that on this page if I want. Okay, and this is where you can come and see some of the products that I am recommending from, in this case, Amazon. All right, and so yeah, it's up to you. If you may not care about people coming to your Amazon. All right, I'm just going to put your LOL up there again, Sue Ann. So what I like for you all to do is the number one thing I want you to do is take a look at your YouTube channel banner. Make note that it no longer includes those links. If your banner art had an arrow pointing or any kind of call to action to let people know your links were over there, no, that's gone. Get you some new channel banner art, or just go in there and crop it out. Depend on, it just all depends upon the design that you have. And update your about page. Make it about like what you're about, or make sure it is attracting the kind of people that you want to attract from your YouTube content. Maybe you want to just tell people a little bit more about the kinds of videos or your schedule, anything that you think is relevant to your YouTube audience. All right. And then you're going to pick Don't bang your head against the wall. Pick your number one link. What is it that you want people to do? Now, if you're like, I can't decide, I want them to go to my website, but then I want them to get on my email list, but then I also want them to go to my Instagram. Then you know what you do? Open up your Google Calendar and right make yourself a recurring task to change that link out every month, week, whatever. That's all. And you'll see how it does. Because you find out nobody's really clicking on the link anyway, it doesn't really matter. Or you may find out, yeah, when I use that Instagram link, I noticed my Instagram is growing. And because I talk about Instagram and I tell people to follow me on Instagram, that link is there. So, you know, test that out. Test it out. I just gave you an example of how you can test it, but the bottom line is test it. You may have an even more creative way of doing it. But I recommend having that primary link as the number one link because that's the one that people are going to see. If they choose to click on more links, maybe your link tree is your primary link because you figure once I get them over on Linktree, then we'll see all the rest of my links. Okay. Do it that way. Come up with a little strategy and test it out if you're not really sure, like, what's going to be the best way for me to go with this? Thank you, Sue Ann. Sue Ann says, great tip. Sue Ann is Right Mix for Business by Sue Ann. And I didn't say that earlier, so I'm going to say it now. Right, WRITE. Right Mix for Business by Sue Ann. All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. And like I said, when I start my broadcast, I always say, hello, beautiful people. And when I say that, it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman or if you're non binary. You're beautiful. I know you are. And you have a beautiful message inside of you that needs to come out. YouTube is a perfect place, a perfect platform for you to get your message out into the world. Okay. And so I know that you have a beautiful message because guess what? You wouldn't be here with me right now. This is not just like a coincidence that you just so happen to be on this channel. There's a purpose. There's a reason why you're here today. And there's a reason why we are connected. So I want you to get your beautiful message out because you know what? You never know. You can change someone's life. You just never know. You don't know who's watching you and you don't know who's hearing your voice. So use your voice for good because I know you have a beautiful message. And when I end my broadcast, what do I always say? Stay beautiful.